Hey, welcome back. Listen, in this video, we're going to look at how to do some Java math operations. They're a little bit different than what you're used to on your calculator. So we're going to investigate what happens when you do int division and you assign that to another int. We're also going to look at how you can capture the remainder through a Java operator called the modulus. Go ahead and open up your IntelliJ IDE and let's real quickly go ahead and jump in and get to programming. What I'm going to call this project, for simplicity's sake, is inches to feet. When this is done, we need to make sure a couple of things are set for our project. First of all, I need you to right-click on your inches to feet project setting. You're going to go down to Open Module Settings. And in the module, you need to ensure that you have a module SDK of Corretto. Now, I'm using 20 in this instance. I think the latest is 21. So make sure you have that installed and you're ready to go. My IDE went ahead and created for me a class. I'm going to delete this class. If yours did the same, go ahead and delete it as well. The first class I'm going to create is called inches to feet. And inside of that, I'm going to type PSVM and hit the tab, and that will go ahead and create for me a public static void main method. Now, the public static void main method is required for any program, any Java program to run. Make sure you pay attention to the syntax, public static void main. Inside, you'll have a string array with a property called args. Now, when we think about doing a conversion, say, of inches to feet, we know there are a few given things that we would want to do. The first is we're going to create a constant. And in Java, you create constants with the keyword final. So we'll type final int, and I'm going to create a constant for the number of inches in a foot. The other thing that we do in Java, which is best practice, is to create your constant, the variable, all uppercase, separate the words with underscores. So I'm going to type inches underscore to underscore foot. And we'll say this is 12. And you'll notice that I ended that line with a semicolon. Each line in Java must end with a semicolon, especially when you're declaring a variable. Next, we're going to create a new variable. And we'll use int again. I'll call this inches. And for the purpose of testing this, we'll type in the number 86. This is the number of inches that we're going to convert. Then we're going to create a new variable that we want to store the number of feet as we do the conversion for this. So we'll say int feet. We'll just end the line with a semicolon. And then we'll do a final variable, and this will be called inches left. All right. Inches left is going to hold the remainder of our division. So in Java, when you're doing any type of math problem, you think about it just the same as you would in your basic math class. So in this instance, I'm going to left assign the value of my division. That means that I want first to assign my inches divided by my inches in a foot to the left. So type feet equals inches, and I'm going to use a backslash for my divisor, and I'll reference my inches to foot. Now, when I'm doing division with ints, with integers, it throws away the remainder. If I want to get the remainder, I have to do another operation. And this is where I'm going to call upon my other variable that I created called inches left. Again, we're using a left assign. That means that everything on this side is being assigned to the left. And I'm going to say, again, inches. But because I want the remainder, I'll use a modulus operator. And again, I'll use my inches to foot. What the modulus operator does in this instance is it will do the same division, but it will take whatever the remainder inches are from that, from 12 divided into 86. It will take that remainder and assign it to the variable inches left. Okay. Next, let's output the code. We'll type SOUT and hit tab. This will give us a system out print line statement. And I'll begin this by saying inches plus parenthesis inches is plus feet plus double quotes feet and inches left. And I'll finish this by typing in inches as a string. Okay, this is a very simple class, but it covers some of the basics on how we do calculations in Java with different data types. So to run this in IntelliJ, we can just simply click the little icon here, and we'll say run inches to feet. And we see it open up a terminal window, and it says there are 86 inches is 7 feet and 2 inches. Okay, so this is a very simple way to do it. Let's create a new class, though, and make this a bit more interactive. And we'll call this inches to feet interactive. Now, this class is going to use a special input collector. Rephrase. This class is going to use a special input collector called a scanner. And what this will allow us to do is actually type in information down here and input it into the program. A couple of things we're going to notice, and I want to iterate this again, is the name of the class matches the name of the file. Now, I'm going to come over here to my terminal. I want to demonstrate something for a moment. Inside my terminal, I'm going to go to the source directory, and I'm using a Mac, so I'm using some Linux commands, ls-la. If you're using Windows, you can type dir. And when I do the ls, you can see that it gives me the name of the file that we're using. So for example, inches to feet.java, it has the same class name, inches to feet. Inches to feet interactive has the same class name. The other thing that's interesting here is from the command line, we can also do a compile. So I could say javac inches to feet dot Java, and now I have compiled just that class in the terminal. I do an ls again, you can see that now there is a inches to feet class, and the inches to feet class has been compiled to bytecode. If you really wanted to see the bytecode, you could just type cat inches to feet dot class, and it will output the bytecode for this class. All right, let's go ahead and clear that. And let's go ahead and type our code to make the inches to feet class more interactive. All right, first things first again, we're going to come in here, hit enter. We're going to type PSVM, hit tab. Again, PSVM tab inside of IntelliJ will go ahead and create the public static void main method. Remember that you must have public static void main method as an entry point to execute any Java program. Now, for all intents and purposes, a lot of our previous code we can just copy over. So let's go ahead and copy this over, paste it in. But what I want to do though is I want to capture the inches. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that value. I'm going to come down here below that, and I'm going to type scanner, and scanner is a class in the Java util package. At this point, if I hit enter, it will go ahead and automatically create the import for me up here. If you don't have the import, you need to go ahead and type up here at line 1, import java.util.scanner, semicolon. Okay, I have a class. Now I'm going to create a variable name. And for the variable, I'm going to create input. Then I'll say equals new scanner. Now, the scanner class itself requires a special input. On this side of the class, we're instantiating the constructor for creating that object in memory. And the object in memory that we're creating is the input of type scanner. Here with IntelliJ, you'll notice that there's these little red squiggly lines, and it's telling us that it can't resolve this because in actuality, the constructor, which you don't know anything about the constructor yet, the constructor here for the scanner requires variables. There is not just an empty constructor. So in our instance, what we want to supply is a system.in. And system.in is what is read into the program. So scanner is going to use this object to read in the data, and then we're going to write it. We're going to collect it and convert it. All right, next, let's go ahead and create another system out print line. And I'm going to change this from print line to just print. And inside of this, I'll type enter inches. Use two greater than symbols. And below that, we're going to get our value. So just like before, I have my inches, and I'm going to left assign them. And so I'm going to type input, which is the scanner variable that we created. And I'm going to say next int. Now, what I've done at this point is I have basically supplied a way for inches to be populated from the scanner. Okay? But compare this back here. In this instance, I'm initializing the inches variable with the number 86. Over here, in the inches to feet interactive class, I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm actually now giving us the ability to dynamically decide what the number of inches will be. Okay, with that done, make sure you save your file. You can do that with Command S on a Mac or Control S. And let's go ahead and compile class. We can do javac and type inches to feet interactive, hit enter. That will compile the class. Another way that we can do this up here is with an IntelliJ, we can say just build the project. So we click here, build the project, and you can see down here in this, you can see down here in this little area, it was building the project. Okay, we've built it. Let's go ahead and just run it using the arrow. Say run inches to feet interactive. And here I am. I have an input. So I've clicked on it and I'm going to type in 79 and hit enter. And with 79, I can see it's 6 feet and 7 inches. All right, well, let's run it again. We run it again. Let's type in 1033 and hit enter. Now we see that it is 86 feet and 1 inch. Okay, so this is a very simple program, but it should help you to begin to understand the basics of variables, of how we instantiate them, the importance of having a semicolon at the end of the line, and how to do some basic math. In this instance, if we're going to do division, we use the backslash. If we want the remainder, we use the modulus symbol. Now, another interesting thing I haven't covered here is if we would have made feet a decimal double, it would actually recorded the value in decimal. It would have been 86.001 something, whatever that number would have been. But because we use int, it throws away the decimal value, it throws away the remainder. And so if we want the remainder, we have to do it through modulus. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you soon.